Amane awoke to a pain in his neck. I must have slept on it wrong, he thought. He blinked up at the swaying branches. The leaves were reflecting a reddish light. It must be getting close to evening. He attempted to sit up, but groaned in pain. His body hurt all over. What had hit him? A dragon! He had fought a dragon! Amane shot up and immediately grabbed his aching back. It had been huge and amazing to look at, or would have been if it hadn't been trying to kill him. Nothing he had been told could have prepared him for it. He stared at the grass at his feet, trying to wrap his mind around what he now knew. There was no way he was killing a dragon now. They had their own language, which meant they communicated, had emotions, relationships, intelligence. Perhaps Riko hadn't been joking when she asked if he was going to speak with the dragon. What am I going to do? Amane asked aloud, running fingers through his hair. For starters... Amane spun around at the sound, straining his already abused back. He hissed in pain. Leaning casually against the willow, book in hand, sat Toma. You should come back, Toma said. Amane turned back to look at his feet. I found dragons. Are you okay? Toma asked. His voice was even and calm as always. I fought one, but I'd have died if another dragon hadn't saved my life. Toma was silent for a moment. I know. Amane wanted to jerk his head around again, but instead he moved slowly to meet Toma's gaze. How do you know? We've known him a long time. He made sure I knew where to find you. You knew they spoke? Amane asked, feeling a little betrayed. Of course. Toma's complete calm was really starting to get on Amane's nerves. Why the fuck didn't you say so? Amane spat angrily. Toma watched him carefully. Would it have mattered? Of course it matters! Amane was really angry now. What kind of person did they think he was? It would be like killing a person. I'm not a murderer. A sad smile curled Toma's lips. It hasn't stopped humans before. They must not have understood. Of course they did, Toma snapped, his calm breaking for the first time. Humans have murdered dragons for hundreds of years. What do you even know about dragons? Instinctively, Amane wanted to snap back, to defend himself and other humans. But he stopped short. What did he know? Nothing, he said softly. Nothing at all. Toma sighed. It's getting dark. Let's go home. As Amane stood, he sucked in a deep breath. Pain shot down his legs. He placed his hands on his knees and just breathed for a few seconds. When most of the pain subsided, he turned to his host. Toma had his shield, pack, and sword. He started to walk away, and Amane slowly followed. Toma, Amane asked, do you know about dragons? Yes, Toma replied. Why didn't you say anything? Well, the short answer is, you didn't ask. Amane noticed as they arrived at town that people were giving him a wide berth. They didn't meet his gaze or gave Toma sympathetic looks, then hurried away. Shit. He was used to being treated like this in tow, but it hurt a lot more here. He decided to stop looking, just concentrating on his feet until he reached Toma's home. As they entered the house, he saw Kyra from the kitchen. Her eyes were red and puffy. Even as he watched, her eyes filled with tears. Would she ever look at him and not cry? Toma! She sobbed and rushed towards them. She threw her arms around Amane and cried into his chest. Amane couldn't move. No one had hugged him before. He looked desperately at Toma. What should he do? Toma gently rubbed Kyra's back, speaking softly. It's okay. I told you I'd bring him home. Kyra nodded, slowly pulling away. She wiped at her eyes, giving Amane a watery smile. I made dinner, and Shintaro-sama will be by to make sure you're all right. Amane didn't know what to say. No one had ever been worried about him. Toma gave a small smile. The proper response is thank you. Thank you, Amane said, and watched Kyra's smile get a little firmer.